Hello and welcome to Gaming with a Side of Salts. It is I, Zio, the one and the only. With me, as always, is the one D-pad Chad and that mediocre gaming girl over there on the side.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing this week, boys?
Chad's just silent. Is he muted?
I know I'm uncomfortable with it. I don't know what to do.
There we go. Shut up.
He was muted. I knew it. I thought I saw his mouth move. Those flaps going. Nothing came out. I was waiting for somebody to say that's what she said.
All right. So how we doing?
Something anyway. The point is, so today is
the baffling success of Minecraft.
We have 4 topics pulled up tonight, with a 5th one weighing in at a whopping 16, 17, 18 tabs after those 4. Because it's all Nintendo, and more Nintendo. Nintendo is just... Yeah, it's Nintendo.
Are they like the boomers of the gaming companies?
Actually, they are. We can get into all of that.
Trust me, it's going to be most of the stream.
Yeah, I mean, they seem stuck in old world thinking.
They are. We'll talk. We'll get to it when we get there. Ask again, and I will explain the history of how Nintendo's behind the times on things. But first, the Minecraft movie is knocking box office records, I guess, or something like that, right?
Oh yeah, it's doing crazy well. I think it's capped at well over 300 million at this point.
Let's see. Worldwide, 351 million so far. Yeah, my kids are going to go see this Sunday. So,
I mean, if you to anyone in the chat, if your children want to see this, do not despair that they have no taste. It's because of the fact that it has become a moment, and it is safer for them to do than Tide Pods. Also, bring earplugs because there will be moments that will irritate you, like this one that we're about to watch.
Yes, so this is one of those phenomenons where, I hate to say it, we're at the age that we just don't get it. But I bet if we were much younger, we would get it and understand.
To be fair, I don't think I ever would have. I was that kid that never got stuff, but...
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Except for Meg. Me and Chad would have been all in on the memes, I'm sure. But I did have to ask my kid right before we started, and was like, explain to me. And then he just started going on and on and on, and I am even more lost than where I started.
Yeah.
If anything ever wants to make you feel like an old, ask kids what's popular and then ask them why.
So this is not... If this is going to go the way I think it's going to go, I've seen several of these videos now that have done similar things where they've practically trashed the place over this.
So what that man's holding over his head?
Pretty sure it was a real chicken.
It's a chicken.
Yeah, he's got an actual chicken.
He's got a chicken.
Yeah.
Seriously, this is just kids trying to be the meme, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's safer than eating Tide Pods, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, to their bodies, maybe not their souls, but sure.
Hey, Chicken Jockey, it's an actual thing that can happen in the game. It's got a really low % chance of happening where you get one of those kid zombies on top of a chicken. So
you can artificially do it, though, if you do it just right, but...
Yeah, it's a big thing for the kids. But yeah, Minecraft is doing a lot. It's doing numbers.
I guess it's safe to say that Snow White is dead and buried, and no Princess Kiss will bring her back.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
Snow White was the thing?
This is like her fourth week.
It beat Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yes, it did. Dragon Ball gave it its title. Let's actually take a look real quick. Hey, for worldwide, it seems to have done decent, I guess.
Let's see.
170 mil.
Oh my god, no, that... You know that the budget for this is about 300 million, right?
So yeah, There it goes.
And that's before.
Listen, I wasn't explaining that there was a budget. We're pretending the budget doesn't exist.
That's not good. This is terrible. These are bad numbers.
I mean, have you looked at the costumes and shit? The budget doesn't exist.
Yeah, they definitely ran with this like they had no budget.
Oh,
I don't think they're making their budget back. That's for sure.
But
they're not making their marketing back.
I didn't post it. Crap. They're under investigation because of Snow White.
Why?
I didn't get to read the details, but I believe it's because it's a what was that movie? Springtime for Hitler scenario.
I have no idea.
Well, Springtime for Hitler was like a comedy movie where these producers were insured the film and tried to make it bomb so that they could cash in the insurance.
Oh,
and is that a thing you can do?
I believe so.
And you get insurance on a film?
Yep.
Wait,
isn't that what
there's an insurance thing for that?
Yep. That was the whole thing with, I think it was called The Producers or something like that, where essentially it was a comedy about, they make this, it was a Mel Brooks film where they make this musical, Springtime for Hitler, and they did it because they wanted it to bomb so that they could cash in the insurance. But everybody loved it because it was so off the wall hilarious.
Well, I don't see anything about it. So
it was basically the Minecraft movie of its day.
Pretty much, but
it succeeded for no reason.
But the thing is, with Snow White, I think they're being sued by the board as well as investors because apparently there was a lot of last minute changes to the movie from Upon High, which is why they're being investigated. Because Ziegler was not cast as Snow White originally. And the CEO or whatever demanded that she be put in that role, which is sus as shit.
Well, looking it up, there's apparently nothing on any of that.
I mean, she was cast way, way, way early. I mean,
I know, but apparently she wasn't supposed to be initially.
Yeah. But okay, well, according to the AI, because I can't find anything, so I had to ask the AI.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that Rachel Zegler is suing Disney over the film.
No, she's not suing.
There's internet rumors of lawsuits, but nothing is based on any credible reports.
Yeah, that thing is like...
Yeah, there's nothing from anything. There's
nothing I said I got backing for. I'm just saying that there's been rumors going around. Just so that we're clear on what I was looking at.
Interesante. I wouldn't be surprised if, somebody demands some sort of head for this. This is considering how much they spent on it. I mean, if you consider that movie houses.
Okay, I did find this though. This one I did find. Disney faces discrimination lawsuit over Snow White snubbing Little People actors who were replaced by cartoons. So
cartoons, nightmare fuel, sure.
Yeah, something like that.
Demonic disasters.
This could have legs. No pun intended.
Very little legs.
Let's see. It was revealed that Little People actors were planning a rally outside.
Well, they need, what they need to do. They need to, if they're going to...
This month, a class action lawsuit was filed against Disney, accusing it of discrimination.
If they're going to protest anybody, they need to protest that one dude that caused all this.
Dinklage. Yeah, they definitely, if anything,
I'm going to be...
No, listen. It just dawned on me. They could sue Dinklage for tortious interference.
You're right. You're right. Oh, and that would be a slam dunk.
But I mean,
because he's the reason they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, we're acting like Disney doesn't have their own agency. So, I mean,
no, Disney would go down with them. But
I mean, Disney has his part to play in it, all that too. But they wouldn't have done that if Dinklage didn't cause a huge stink on social media about it.
Dinklage
That's
is directly
the only reason. And then everybody's like, and then they did it. What?
Yeah.
And I was like, really, dude? Really? You've gone too woke on this. You're supposed to have little, like, you guys, you're the group who said,
I mean,
you can't play a gay guy unless you're gay. You can't play a lesbian unless you're a lesbian. You can't play a short person if you're not a short person. And you're the group who champions that. And then when there is a movie that has 7 perfect parts for little people, you're out here going, I shouldn't be doing that. And really?
I mean, honestly, if they wanted to be woke, what they should have done is either A, made Snow White a little person, or made the prince that she falls in love with a little person. Either way, that would have been like the woke way to go.
No.
If you want to appeal and get the point, the sympathy points, basically,
so you make Snow White Rachel Zegler, and then you hire Dinklage as the prince.
Yeah, well,
that's how you did it. That's how.
No, make them all midgets, and then call it Mini Snow White or something. I don't know.
Snowflake.
Everything I saw from that film was horrible.
Snowflakes.
Yeah, Zegler is you can tell when she's acting, even when she's doing interviews. It's like she does this thing with her face that's like overly it's overly concerned, and it's just she does this thing with her eyebrows, and it's just it's cloying. If a person did this in your face, like look at her talking to someone, and then when she's trying to be nice and soft, not when she's being her actual self in her, in her videos that she does on Instagram. But when she's being interviewed or something and she's trying to be nice, she does this thing where she softens her voice, and she does this thing with her eyebrows, and it's like if a person was doing this in front of you, you would actually smack them, because it's just they feel like a pod person of some sort, like it's just it's very theater kid inauthentic. It's like she's not very good, but
yeah, no, she's not. Like,
and she has this thing that she does with her lower jaw. I mean, when you're a singer, you do engage your jaw a little bit more than the average person, because you're trying to produce all these different types of sounds. But yeah, she protrudes her lower jaw. Really
it does not do her any favors doing that.
Yeah, somebody called her Princess Underbright, and it's not. It's not a misnomer. I was like, oh no, I can't stop seeing it now.
Well, it's funny because there was this one dude on, I think it was on X or Instagram, I don't know, it was somebody, but they were like, what the fuck's wrong with her jaw? Is she missing a chromosome or something? I was like,
I mean, in this day and age, that could have been the possibility.
Like, somebody was like, is she inbred? What the hell is this?
I don't think I've seen her enough to even notice, but now I have to go and hunt something of her talking down just so I can look at it. But anyway, so let's continue from the Snow White disaster. Minecraft is doing good, I guess. Ubisoft says, you cannot complain it shut down the crew because you never actually owned it, and you weren't deceived by the lack of an offline version to access a decade-old discontinued video game.
Okay, see, this is the thing. This is why people want they want their physical copies. This is why online games are the devil. I mean, I don't really like playing with people in general because I am me. But yeah, this kind of stuff is just gonna burn people, and it's gonna make people so much more leery. And I mean, I think that I'm glad that they're doing this now, though, before the great game apocalypse happens. But like,
well, they are. It looks like they are being taken to court over it. But
no, they are. So we talked about this a while back. It was like "Stop Killing Video Games" or something like that petition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what exactly it was, but this one guy was rallying the troops to do all this stuff and things, and to fight back because the crew has an offline mode. It was apparently accidentally enabled at one point, for a split second, and then they patched it and disabled it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a very small niche fan base, but and it's got like 2 or 3 other games under its belt, like The Crew 2, The Crew 3, or something like that now as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then they were going to discontinue this, and in Ubisoft fashion, because this is not a new thing for Ubisoft to do, it's going to get delisted, it's going to disappear, you're not going to be able to load into it, and all this other stuff. And people were like, just give us an offline mode. That's it. Just give us the offline mode, and we'll be happy, because then we can still race the AIs. It's no big deal. And Ubisoft is like, I don't know what you're talking about. We can't do that. So it's evolved into this big old thing, and now there's a lawsuit going on and stuff, and this is, I guess, apparently their defense.
Well,
it's like, buried in the EULA, it says you don't own this game.
So basically, Ubisoft is just going for most beloved of video game companies now. That's what I'm taking from all of this.
Usually that is something that an Ubisoft does, right? Like Ubisoft and EA are kind of known for being some of the worst companies out there. But Nintendo has apparently this year decided to say, hold my fucking beer.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So that's what's happening in Ubisoft land.
A lot of the large response to this is, if I don't own it, that means I can't technically steal it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
they're making a great case for piracy.
They really are. Basically,
like, it's theft of what, bro? Nobody owns anything here.
If we can't own it, it can't be stolen, right?
That would be the theory. I support Chad's legal theory.
Yeah, that went down the wrong pipe.
We need to send this boy to college. For law.
Anyway.
School.
Yeah, so what Chad said, I'll go with that.
No, I was trying to find, because Grimm's posted on this too, and I reposted it and was like, well, we can't own it, then I guess, piracy is legitimate.
Hi ho, hi ho. Oh, that's a different hi ho.
A lot of these digital only bullshit is making a great case for piracy, including Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're making a really great case for it in the modern day. Like, granted, emulators and stuff existed. It's been existing. And for somebody like me who likes to preserve these things, likes to fight for their preservation stuff, I don't really have an issue with it, as long as you're not, like, essentially taking something that is, like, current day and then not actually buying it kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
I have no problem with you downloading the entire library of NES, because of the fact that, you can't get it anywhere. There's just no legal way to do it outside of what little Nintendo has available on its Switch right now.
Yeah.
But aside from that, if you were to download something, play, a Switch game on your PC, and then go and buy said game, got no problem with that. And a lot of people do like to do that, just sort of to demo it, right? Especially with the prices of games going up, and demos are a thing of the past. For the most part,
on Steam.
Sometimes people download a game, find out that they actually like it, and then they'll go buy it and play it on the actual system.
That's happened to me a lot of times back in the day when my piracy days were up.
Chad never pirated. Don't listen to him. Whatever.
I'm talking about Sid Meier's Pirates. What are you talking about?
But anyway,
great game, by the way. You guys,
so in Ubisoft land, that is happening. And there are reports of Sony shutting down several game projects in the work that apparently are Sweet Baby Inc. related.
Oh, no.
So, no. Couldn't happen to a better place of consultants.
Surprise Pikachu.
What's happening? But apparently this insider has apparently who's provided accurate information to Gothic Therapy's host, Master TDS. And Riding Raven in the past claims that these weren't random cuts; they were deliberate, targeted terminations of in-development projects that had Sweet Baby Inc. embedded in them.
Oh, you know what that was, right? So, here's my theory on that. They couldn't get rid of SBI because of the ironclad contract, but they found a workaround that if they cancel the entire project, SBI goes with it. So it's basically quit while they're ahead kind of thing.
It's their version of golden handcuffs.
Yep.
Yeah, they're basically what is it, South of Midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I saw somebody had posted a description of that game and my jaw dropped. I was like, what the floof?
I mean, for an indie game, it wouldn't be terrible. It's so on the nose. It's so, all right, like you said, we'll get to it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Of course it would be a black woman. Why? It's just... I'm black and I'm getting tired of seeing black people. Like, stop it. Like, just, it's this artificial insertion and it just feels wrong. That whole sentence. Oh, this is what
but anyway, so yeah, reportedly, it's not exactly 100% confirmed, but that's the rumors from insiders. So yeah, SBI could be on its way out the door, which hopefully will be sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because they destroy everything they touch.
But I mean, it's not the company; it is the people in the company, and I doubt that those people will actually stop with their activism.
No, it's the company. I mean, that's the entire Sweet Baby ecosystem. Now, it's not Sony, the company, but Sweet Baby Inc.'s entire existence is to destroy gaming for the most part.
Yeah, what is that? What is that about?
It's what they want.
It's that thing where like when
you have a space, we want in that space because it's popular now, and now we have to destroy that space, and then we'll gaslight you and tell you to go make your own space, even though you already own the space to begin with, kind of deal.
Yeah, it just reminds me yet again of why boys didn't want girls playing their games when we were kids. It's like, oh, girls can't play, and they'd be like, oh, but we'll be cool. And some of them were cool, but then there'd be,
I mean, I just thought
who'd come over and play and then tell you that you're playing it wrong, and they try to take over the game, and it's like,
well, I mean, when we were younger, we just thought girls were icky, but I guess there was more to it than that.
Well, it's something inherent in female nature where we kind of want to like civilize everything. But some things aren't meant to be civilized in our sort of fashion, in our way. Sometimes you got to let a thing be a thing. You got to let a dude blow stuff up, and be rough and be crude and be quote unquote not nice.
Yeah, my goddaughter keeps finding that out the hard way because she wants to play with the boys, and the boys are playing a bit rough, and then she gets all hurt over it and runs to us, and it's like, well, you better toughen up.
Yeah, it's like, look, if you're going to play the game,
you're going to play with them, you're going to have to toughen up.
Yeah. This is the game that's being played. You are not going to tell other people how to play their game. So, just decide whether or not you want to play then. Maybe you
sometimes
just don't
when you look at it, looks like she's apparently created a cult and they're sacrificing somebody. So,
yeah, girls really do change the dynamic. My husband keeps trying to get me to play Dungeons and Dragons with his friends. But it's all guys, and I'm like, no, I don't want to introduce. I am so intrigued by this game, but I do not want to introduce myself to it. Need
to take the plunge. You need to go ahead and get yourself a D20 here. Take the plunge.
Oh no, it's not that I don't want to play it. I would play it if it was a mixed company game, but it's not. Right now, it's all dudes, and I'm like, you know what? I want to leave this unsullied. by feminism or femalism, not feminism. 'Cause I'm not a feminist, but you know.
You all right, Chad?
Yeah.
We just
I just noticed my camera went wonky.
Yeah, was that what was going on?
Well, that
sure, it's the camera's
I was
fault.
very thirsty.
So, South of Midnight apparently released at some point and has received not a whole lot going on to it. So, another modern age game for another modern age failure.
Well, it doesn't surprise me when, according to something I read online, the way your character gets their power in this game is by picking floof.
Floof.
I was like, oh, wow.
Well, so the thing is that initially this game was supposed to be in the South, supposed to be in Louisiana, I think it is.
Yeah.
But the main
It was
character
supposed to be a different game.
Well, the main character was supposed to be just a white girl, you know, and that's, you know, and the thing is that changing her race shouldn't make a difference, but the thing is that it did, and it's not that it made a difference because being black makes a difference. It's because they changed the narrative. So now they've got like this scene where she's following some people who are doing this underground railroad stuff, and I'm just like, why can't we just have games? Why can't we have nice things? You know, every time you involve a black person, we always got to be, we was slaves and we was kings. None of you were alive for this. Shut up. Stop it. And so, yeah, you insert that stuff into a game where people are like, I just want to have fun and hit things in the face. Yeah, people are going to be turned off by it. People are going to be tired. People are just going to be exhausted. The funny thing is, the voice acting in it, very good. It's so much better than the voice acting in Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is
Oh man.
There is a debate as to whether or not it's done by AI, and nobody can actually definitively say one way or the other. They're like,
that's funny.
No, this person did it. It's like, no human sounds like this. It's so bad.
So, just because I was curious, I was seeing if I could just find something on it real quick. And I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
And do you see anything as we scroll down?
What are we looking for?
I mean, it is like overwhelmingly 95% IGN.
Oh, yeah.
IGN. Just
yeah,
IGN,
yeah.
IGN.
Yeah, this is true.
Reddit, was that Reddit Times or something?
Yeah. And it's just walkthrough stuff. And it's all IGN. Like, there's a few people, I'm sure, playing it or whatnot, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, the developers.
Well, no, they're people who review games. I'm watching a guy who's playing through it. Same guy who's playing through Assassin's Creed Shadows. We salute you, sir, for your sacrifice. But yeah, and like I said, the voice acting is quite good. The gameplay is rudimentary. The fighting is bare bones basic. And I'm thinking it's probably slightly more basic than like Cat Quest, honestly.
Cat Quest can get complex.
Yeah, I mean it's one button, but the way that you approach it, that's true. Your setup, your loadout, those kind of things do matter.
Not as complex as a game of paper, rock, scissors, but still complex.
But yeah,
I've heard a lot of people aren't happy with the writing of it either. So
no, it's the writing. The writing feels very, very forced, very current day.
Hey, Sophia.
Yeah, Grace.
Hey, Sophia. Welcome to the stream.
We are doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Trying not to die tonight.
Doing a lot better than the devs of this game, that's for sure.
But anyway, yeah, I've heard the writing is really, really bad. And because it's one of those games where it had a direction, it had a thing that it was going, then they completely swapped it when, they got the consulting groups in there or whatnot and shifted it in a completely different direction. I think that between that and something that I'm sure the developer had said on social media, because that usually plays into this kind of thing. It's one of those games where it has an interesting premise and some of the mechanics are decent. Like, what was the one game with the ethereal thing that we were looking at? that fell, where she would like essentially project her ghost or whatnot out and make people do stuff. Like that was
something 9, Unknown 9.
Yeah, I think so. It was a really good mechanic, really interesting. Something that I honestly wouldn't mind playing, but the gameplay itself was just so bad.
Yeah,
I heard that like
it's just like
projection thing was kind of buggy too.
Yeah, but still, for first in a new series, it had promise. But between things that developers had said online and other stuff, and the fact that they don't have seasoned people working on these games anymore, they've got people who have no overwhelmingly new to the industry,
and
they have to fit a DEI quota or whatnot instead of having seasoned people work on it, which gives lackluster gameplay, lackluster story, lackluster everything.
Yeah, we're from all over, by the way, Grace.
Yeah. And I think that also these games are not masculine. The primary audience, the primary customer when you're dealing with games are dudes. I mean,
still
whatever
today.
Women want to say who are in the gaming space, I'm sorry, you are the minority, you are the unicorn, own your socks, dude. But the thing is that these games they're coming from this female empowerment perspective in the storytelling. Dudes don't want to play that because they're like, I can't relate to this and I don't care. Most girls don't really necessarily relate to it, and the few that do, they're probably not playing games. They're out on a picket line somewhere. So, I mean, seriously, these games are. You want to do these games,
can't work
do
or
them,
anything,
but understand that they are appealing to exactly 17 people. So budget accordingly. South of Midnight, it could have been okay. I'm sure that there are some chicks who are still looking for female empowerment, as though we haven't been, having that shoved in our faces for years and years at this point. And there's some who are all in that, oh, we was queens sort of thing too. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I think it also depends on the kind of game it is too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this game here, it was a launch title for 360. I own it. It was a fun game. It was fun in the way that Spyro is fun for everybody. Yeah. It's not taking itself too super serious or anything. It's got a female protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider was good for its own reasons, including its assets. And then you've got like Nathan Drake, which is like the male version of Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly is a lot better than Tomb Raider 2. So...
But I mean, so the thing is, though, both of those games appeal to males.
But Tomb Raider kind of filled that male power fantasy more than anything, or that the words out of mouth can't put them together. Anyway, but no, it did, because it had that adventuring, exploring, fighting dinosaurs kind of thing to it. And things like Perfect Dark was a great game back in the day, but it was also a shooter. So
it was,
which is something that appeals to men more than it does women.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not to say you can't
make
have
a Perfect Dark game and then give it a female storyline to it.
Yeah,
it flops, which I think is what they did with like Perfect Dark Zero or something like that. That game apparently just flopped. And I was just so surprised by it. I was like, but it's Perfect Dark. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, it's Perfect Dark in name only. It's like a lot of these things where they're wearing IPs as skin suits. I'm not saying that you can't have a female protagonist. I'm saying you can't have a feminine story and expect it to do super well. I'm not saying that it can't have a place and that it can't get some money, but I'm just saying you need to budget accordingly, my dude.
Yeah.
It just the female protagonist is not new, like you said, Lara Croft, but she was playing basically a girl who's not like most girls. She had more masculine traits. She doesn't really talk a whole lot, I don't think. It's not about her crying and getting in touch with her feelings and discovering the magic was inside of her all along.
Nonstop and is annoying.
The cheat code now is to get her to shut up.
Yeah. Well, the story. I mean,
For
the storyline was basically, hey,
Konami
let's do
code.
this tomb, let's get some loot, my dude, let's shoot the things that are inside. That's cool. That's not the same as you need to discover your inner power. You're the magic all along and the answer to everything. You girl, you queen, you. That's totally not. That's the storyline for a lot of these games. For South of Midnight, like this. I don't know about Shadows. Shadows. They made Yasuke so effeminate. It's so irritating.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Shadows
Not
is a
in
whole other
size and in
beast.
walk or anything, but in his constant self-doubt, like his expressions are so I'm like, if this dude doesn't like man up a little bit, I'm gonna have a problem with this. And then the girl is supposed to be like super stoic and tough and angry all the time. And I'm like, okay, so she's unlikable. I like him. I just feel like he's about to cry all the time.
She's your
So
stereotypical
MCU kind of nonsense.
lesbian, I think.
Yeah,
That's a
and I mean, if you
stereotypical
watch
thing.
the gameplay of South of Midnight, every time she's walking with her fist balled. Even when she's just walking around her
I'll be right
apartment,
back.
her fists are balled up, like she's about to that kind of tough girl
This is
walk,
my
and I'm just
fun
like, what is
cat.
this? It's
Poor rough
absurd.
nut.
So I
All
mean,
right. So let's move on.
Okay,
so
we can move
can
on.
get into the fun stuff.
I'm sorry, Drug
before
Dealer
Meg
Simulator.
has to
What?
leave here in like 25 minutes.
Oh, dear.
But this is Drug Dealer Simulator. It's been out since like 2000. Oh shit! It's been out since 2000.
Really?
2020. There we go.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's a little bit
The
different.
2-0 is 2020, not 2000. I was about to be like, what? Okay. No, it's 2020. So it's been out for about 5 years now, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And this is Schedule 1,
Dang.
which is a game that is in a similar everything as Drug Dealer Simulator. It's essentially a drug dealing simulator, right?
I guess I don't know. I know nothing about this game.
So
Okay, I can
the
enlighten
rumor
a little bit.
popped up that Schedule 1 is getting sued by the makers of Drug Dealer Simulator. So,
Why?
Because they're jealous.
Is this kind of like a Nintendo Power World sort of deal?
It is. It's
It is.
exactly a Nintendo
It
Power
is.
World scenario. So, here's the deal.
Look at me reading a room.
Schedule 1's copyright infringement accuser is getting review bombed on Steam. So, what happened is the devs from Drug Dealer apparently somebody let it out that they were planning to possibly maybe kind of be suing Schedule 1 for copyright infringement of all things. So then the fans from Schedule 1 started review bombing Drug Dealer, and then the few people who apparently played Drug Dealer started review bombing Schedule 1. So it's all over the place on that front. It's a battlefield right now, okay?
Well, this has gotten tribal, but the thing is that
7,000 of them are holding strong against the 455,000 of the other side. But anyway, so it turns out, because this became a huge thing. Where's the update?
Anybody ever hear a little bighorn?
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you have some really dedicated people against some people who really don't care, I guess.
No, this is going to be a massacre.
Wait, does this not have the update on it now?
There
was an update to this article, and it's missing.
I don't know.
Anyway, so according to the update, so I'm going to work on the fact that the update is still fact. According to the update, Move Game SA, which are the guys who did Drug Dealer Simulator, they are not actually suing Schedule 1's developer. However, they are talking to their legal team about trying to find copyright infringement to follow through with said lawsuit.
Why can't you just let people like be successful and leave them alone?
So we have entered the day, or we have finally fully entered to the part where if your game looks too similar to my game, you violated my copyright somehow.
This is just jealousy, though.
Oh yeah.
And we shouldn't be rewarding jealousy, which is just all this is. I'm like, my dude, your game is 5 years old.
With the Nintendo versus Power World shit, that's pure jealousy out of Nintendo, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Very humble.
I don't care if they filed a patent to throw a ball in a 3D space and capture a thing. I don't think that patent should even be allowed to stand.
No.
That's just ridiculous.
Because at that regard, like, a bunch of sports games could kind of be on the block.
Well, no, because it's not capturing the player; they're just catching the ball.
But it's something
but that then means that if FIFA, EA makes FIFA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not FIFA. FIFA Soccer. Madden. Who makes Madden? Who makes Madden? Is that EA too?
That's EA.
I think EA does most of the sports games, but
yep.
If EA patent the idea of throwing a football from one player to the next, and then Chad makes a football game that blows Madden 2025 out of the water,
Mutant League Football,
then are we going to have to worry that EA is going to sue Chad over that? It's a football game.
The patent is entirely too general and too broad. It's like saying, "Oh, I have a talking mouse, therefore you can't have any cartoons ever with talking mice." Like, that's not no.
Actually, I could see Disney doing that. So here's the thing with the Schedule 1 versus Drug Dealer Simulator. Mm-hmm. They are, one, they're made in two different engines, for starters.
Mm-hmm.
Two, they look drastically different, whereas Drug Dealer Simulator is more realistic in, like, Unity style kind of. Schedule 1 is way more cartoonish, almost like South Park cartoony. So
it's like South Park crossed with, like, I don't know, Wii version memes.
Yeah, exactly. I always thought memes when I looked at them.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, they don't have a leg to stand on, because other than the very broad concept of drug
growing
use,
a plant and selling it.
Yeah.
Shit. Stardew Valley. Better watch yourself.
Right? Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, Sunhaven. I guess they're on the chopping block too.
Yeah, I know, but that's where it feels like we're going to at this
Final
point.
Dragon yet.
And it's also why we haven't had something like the Nemesis system, because Warner Brothers copywrote that entire system.
But at least with the Warner Brothers, they did it the correct way and actually did it ahead of time. Whereas these assholes are trying to retroactively say, no, we did this, yeah. It's like, no, you didn't.
But anyway, so that's a thing that happened too, because why not?
But I'll be
have good things anymore.
We just encouraged such a culture of what is it? Being jealous of what other people have, covetousness and envy. That, people are just like, people have this pie and it looks somewhat similar to my pie, so I'm going to see if I can take them down.
Yeah, well, to that degree, I found out about this whole BS about the copyright infringement and blah, blah, blah on Schedule 1. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? I'm buying a couple copies of this just to say fuck you to the developers of Drug Dealer Simulator. So I got 2 copies, one for me, one for Joe. I'm going to see about buying another copy or 2 for anybody that wants to join me on stream.
Oh, it is multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm going to do a live stream on this sometime this week.
How much is it?
It's like $15-$20.
I don't know. I can find it. Oh, wait, can I?
Oh, he just shrugs and says $15-$20. All right, well, that's cool.
Drug Dealer Simulator. I'm sorry. Schedule 1. It's $19.99.
Yeah, $20. But yeah, no,
early access.
It ticked me off that they did that to the point where I was like, you know what? Screw it. Schedule 1, 2 copies, me and Joe. There we go.
Yeah, it's easy, honestly. It's really easy with these guys.
And it convinced me to buy a copy of Schedule 1. So way to go, Drug Dealer Simulator. Go fuck yourselves. You and Nintendo.
Speaking of Nintendo, Let's get into the fun
Yay,
part.
segue.
Oh, segue into Nintendo. Meg was asking earlier something about, is Nintendo like old man? Are they the boomers of the gaming industry?
Yes.
And the answer to that question is absolutely, totally yes. Because at one point in time, people were streaming Nintendo games, and Nintendo saw that they made money. Nintendo was not happy with that. So Nintendo created the Nintendo Partner Program and said, if you wanted to stream our games, you have to join this. Therefore, not only are you streaming it on, say, YouTube and Twitch right now, who are going to take their cut, you have to be part of the Nintendo Partner Program where they're going to take an additional 40% cut of any revenue you make during that stream. And everybody collectively was like, yeah, we're not playing Nintendo games anymore, except for the hardcore Nintendo-only channels out there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Nintendo, you don't have enough games that are that epic that need to be done. I mean, what, in the last 10 years, what was it? Maybe Breath of the Wild, TOTK for like 17 minutes before it got old. Maybe Mario Kart if you're really into that sort of thing and into big party.
You got to have a group for that though to really make that.
Nintendo has good first-party games. That's it, but they don't have a whole lot of first-party games anymore either.
No.
They've got Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda.
Yeah, so I'm like,
any franchise that spawns from that. So Mario is like Mario Kart, the Mario game that will come with it, or 5 games that will come with it, right? Throughout its life cycle. It will have Mario Party. Maybe another Mario spin-off of some kind. If
they might do like Paper Mario or Mario RPG.
They may do a Mario RPG or Mario and Luigi Brothership or something like that kind of deal.
I started Paper Mario. It's one of the few games I have not finished.
So Mario kind of like carries the system for the most part. Then you'll have the 1 or 2 Legend of Zelda games they'll produce for it. Realistically, probably 1. They'll have a Pokemon game, of course, because Pokemon's one of their first-party titles.
They might have a Metroid game.
Metroid, they are, because they already showed off Metroid Prime 4.
No, I'm saying in every generation, sometimes they do.
Well, they showed off Metroid Prime 4 because we got super excited for it before Switch 2 was a thought.
Yep.
And now I think it's safe to say that it will be for the Switch 2.
At this
point.
I thought they announced it, didn't they?
Well, they announced it sometime, I think. I don't know if it actually had a release date, but we had watched that one together like last year.
Oh, okay.
At Nintendo Direct when they were releasing things.
Yeah.
They'll have their Zelda, their Metroid, Pokemon, Mario titles. They're bringing back Donkey Kong finally. So they've had a few Donkey Kong games that came out.
Yeah, they're trying the 3D Donkey Kong again.
One for the Switch 2 coming out. But aside from that, do they really have any decent first-party games that isn't cross-platform at this point?
Not
Fire
really.
Emblem, is that did that release cross-platform? Or
I think that went cross-platform.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There are very few Nintendo
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that, again, like, which games of these are streamable? To where you're like, oh man, I gotta stream it, or I'm gonna lose,
all of them
lose views.
I mean, you've got Pokemon channels out there, so they're going to guarantee stream any Pokemon game that comes out.
You got a Mario Maker channel.
You still have your Nintendo channels out there, so they'll be streaming that. Mario Maker's a fun title to stream if they do a Mario Maker 3 for it. If they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why they would, because Mario Maker 2 kind of has everything already. They'll probably just upcharge you $20 to play Mario Maker 2 on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo literally sells itself on its first-party titles. And it has so many fans out there that, unfortunately, Nintendo is one of those companies that you're like, never be the scumbags of gaming. We can't afford you to, and they're doing exactly that now, and they're going to win at it.
Well,
more than likely.
Yes and no.
I think they're gonna. I think they're definitely putting some nails in their coffin, but Nintendo is so big that I do feel like that this isn't going to be they're going to set the standard, and the rest of gaming is going to fail as a result of it.
Yeah. So here's my prediction for this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this will be wildly successful because of the legs that the Switch had, and what will happen is people will be disillusioned by the Switch 2 and the price points. And I did a lot of research into the price points. Thank you, Grunk, because that really helped actually. And what essentially is going to happen is the generation after the Switch 2, I think, is going to be a massive failure.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they do some major course correcting, which I don't think they'll do. And I'm just going to follow Zio's lead, but if we get into the pricing, boy, did I find out some really fucked up things.
But anyway, so the Switch 2 will still have a stick drift problem, apparently.
Yep.
Because
they're not going to do Hall effect? Dude, that's so basic at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, Nintendo can't figure it out.
Does Sony do that for their PlayStation?
Everybody's done that now.
I'm pretty sure everybody has done that except for Nintendo.
Yep.
I don't know. Last time when I bought my husband some controllers, they didn't have Hall effect on them, but maybe they do now. Because I bought
third-party controllers may not.
Yeah, so I have a third-party Switch controller that I use, and that has Hall effect on it, and it's fantastic. It's
there you go.
From Gully Kit. Yeah.
You got to buy some high-end Switch controllers.
It's like $70, but I mean that's the same price as like a Nintendo Switch controller.
Yeah, but it's better than the standard, so.
Yeah, I know, and it actually lasts and doesn't drift, so that way when I'm searching for my mushrooms, I don't fall off a freaking cliff. Very important to me, okay? Foraging is fun.
Are they really $70? Oh my god.
Yeah, they're actually surprisingly expensive.
Yes,
because
Nintendo.
One of mine got chewed up by a dog, partially, so the thumbstick was wonky, and I hated it for the longest time. And every time I think, I should replace this, I go and I look, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to spend that much on a Joy-Con.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm remembering back, and I'm almost positive I spent like $40 maybe. For my second,
maybe on some off-brand ones. But Joy-Cons have always been.
Oh expensive. Yeah, no, I never buy fucking like first-party peripherals because they're garbagely priced, and the third party works.
A lot of the times they're just much better. So
yeah, okay, sure.
I said most of the time. Most of the time. Like when it comes to getting like PlayStation or Xbox controllers, I never buy third party because every time I do, I'm always disappointed. With the exception of this one I've got right here has been the only good one I've had.
This is not first party, even though it has the X on it. It's not first party.
This one isn't either, and it's the only good one I've had. But every other third-party one I've ever bought, and I've had to replace in a few months. So
never had that problem.
I have. I must have just bad luck then. I typically do buy first-party in the controller section.
Whoever delivers your packages must really just hate your ass.
Well, to be fair, though, I think there's a difference depending on who plays it and how hard you play, Like, Zio, you got kids. Do they play with your controllers?
No. Well, they play with the other ones, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, I don't know. Maybe you're like my dad who breaks everything.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, there's just some people who have who just have a heavier hand and they wear out their controllers more than others. I've dealt with both. So the thing is that the third party ones will not take as much of a beating. If you're gentle with them, oh god. Anyway, if you're nice to your controller, though, it'll probably last you.
You got to play with the knob softly.
This is why we can't have nice things. But
Zio, you might be taking another class after this.
Yeah, but because I bought my dad some controllers, and he is, one of those guys with like just mitts. He breaks everything, doesn't understand how. He's like a bull in a china shop everywhere he
Listen, they just
goes.
don't make them like they used to. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean,
That
no,
is
I mean with
true.
the third party ones, he's like that. With the ones that are legit, they last a little bit longer. Not a lot longer, but a little bit longer.
Yeah, see, that's my problem too.
Yeah, to be fair, like I remember as a kid with a NES controller using that as a bola and tying one of my cousins up.
Listen, I besides
still
doing
works
that
fine.
exact same thing, we used to play Street Fighter with our feet.
Yeah.
One time because I forgot what it was we were doing. We were eating, but we wanted to play. So I just sort of like used my feet on the controller instead while I was sitting in the chair when I was younger.
Game Dev, this is the difference between men and women when it comes to playing games.
And then it spawned this whole thing, and it's like we learned to play with our feet out of curiosity.
Girls don't do this, okay? I mean, maybe the one outlier does, but I mean, we're talking like 1 out of 10,000.
And those controllers still work today, just so you know.
This is true. I mean, to be fair, things back then were made to last. Things now are made to be replaced.
Listen. It was kid feet way back in the day.
No, they were boy feet. Okay. Those are different.
Nintendo Switch says U.S. tariffs were a factor into the weren't factored into the $450 price tag. Tariff new flash, blah blah blah. Okay, so what has happened here? Nintendo launched their thing. Everybody praised it. Everybody went looking for the prices because Nintendo casually left out all the prices for everything. Whoopsie. Everyone looked at the prices, was like, "Oh fuck, no," and then complained about that. Nintendo panicked. Then apparently Trump same day dropped a tariff thing.
Which
people panicked. Nintendo canceled pre-orders in the U.S. citing tariffs now. That's a fact at this point. It wasn't when it first broke, but it's now a fact.
That's been updated too.
And then the UK pre-orders sold out. Then they canceled pre-orders in Canada for some reason. I don't know why they did that one.
Because
now the tariffs are back down. So I don't know what's going on here.
So here's the thing. So the tariffs were not going to affect the Nintendo Switch, but I think Nintendo didn't know that at the time. Same distributors.
Theoretically, it could have, because apparently they moved their Nintendo, or they moved their, manufacturing of the Switch to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then Vietnam got hit with a harder tariff.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So if they did actually ship it from Vietnam, it actually would cost more.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the tariffs weren't going to be a permanent thing. But anyway, what the reason for the Canada thing is because the distribution for the North American market also includes Canada. So
okay, because I didn't see a reason for that one, but it wasn't included when they first said that they were going to stop pre-orders in the U.S.
Well, I think it was implied, but they kind of realized, oh wait, they don't know our distributors like we do. We need to actually publicly tell them. And
does that affect all of North America?
Yeah, I think that's all that was.
All right. I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
But as far as the price point, even with the tariffs and all that, here's the thing. If any of the older generation like me and Zio, and I'm not going to out Meg like that, but
Bro, I'm older than both of you guys. I am your elder, and I demand my respect.
I'm 40.
All right, Grandma, settle down there.
I'm older than you, sir. I was born in 1980.
Jeez, you're old. Anyway,
I
wasn't off when I said Grandma.
Okay, so here's the thing. Ever since like the NES, Nintendo has absolutely refused to sell their hardware at a loss. Most companies like Sony and Microsoft, they will take the hit on the hardware to make it up in the software. Nintendo does not do that. They've never done that. They've refused to do that.
Nintendo refuses to ever lower their prices too.
That yeah.
Like,
What I'm saying is, so when Nintendo came out with the price point for the Nintendo Switch, I was like, oh, it must be because of higher manufacturing, whatever, right? But then they came out with the Japanese one, and that one was like $100 cheaper or something like that.
$106 cheaper.
Yeah, which told me that is either them one breaking even or they're still making a profit on the Japanese consoles, which says that essentially the international consoles, i.e., what I call the Gaijin tax consoles, those are massively making money.
Yeah.
So here was my original thought process when this stuff was going down.
Grunk softly confirmed that for me,
and I was, thinking about it and stuff. At first I thought maybe they actually priced it with tariffs in mind because it made sense. Because then this way they were passing the tariff cost on to the user. Because with the tariffs included, if you take the Japanese price, add the tariffs to it, it was about $400 and some dollars. Like $445 or something is what it came out to, I think. All right, we have to lose Meg. Meg has to go. She's got other things to do. IRL.
Yes, that's right. I'm busy and important, so miss me while I'm gone.
So Meg now stands for mediocre gamer gone
this time.
Yeah.
So trust me, I'm going to rant on this one.
I know. I missed out on the rant, but I mean, it's Nintendo being greedy, Nintendo doing crappy things and not caring about the customer. The problem is that I think that Nintendo is overestimating how important they are to gaming.
Yeah.
There are so many titles out there and so much that other people can do now. You guys you're not the big dog on the block. You are being held over by nostalgia primarily. So I advise them not to abuse that, but it seems that they're gonna. So
here's another thing before you go real quick. I've seen a lot of the casual crowd that are going, I can't afford that. I'm not. And it sounds like a lot of the casual gaming crowd and the parents are looking at this like, yeah, we're skipping this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And
I think that's
they are overestimating exactly how important they are, exactly how in demand they are. The supply of video games that are available to the average person is really, really oversaturated. So, I mean, I don't see this being. I don't see this doing them any favors. But hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong at least once before. So, anyway, guys, thanks so much for having me. I have to go head out and celebrate my sister who decided to come and visit us. So.
Have a good time at
dinner.
Have
fun. Enjoy.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody who's watching, catch me on my channel, Meg Live. And I'm probably finishing up Cat Quest 3. I defeated the Duck of Doom. Oh my gosh, it was terrifying.
Duck of Doom.
Dude, I'm sorry. I had that was, I don't know why, but it was viscerally scary to fight a giant rubber duck. It's scary, okay? It had these death lasers that came from heaven, and it just okay. It was a thing. And now I had
sorry. When you get a chance, Meg, look up the rock band Alestorm.
No, I saw the thumbnail. I'm afraid. I've already told you I have a fear. I didn't even know I had this fear, but now I have it, and it's deeply seated. So just stop it. Stop trying to give me nightmares, sir. All right. Anyway, guys, bye. Thank you.
Adios, Meg. All right.
Alestorm is awesome.
So anyway, I was thinking that they had actually included the tariff in the price point for the Nintendo Switch.
Nope.
Just because the difference, and that was before it was really confirmed anything at that point. And then the tariff went up and up and up, which then kept changing the price point and stuff. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know what to think. And now it's all back down to 10%, so it's whatever. But yeah, apparently they confirmed that it did not include that, and the fact that it's so expensive to begin with, like Nintendo becoming greedy was not on my bingo card, but something has happened over at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Since right before, I guess, Power World or something came out, because that is when Nintendo has gone bonkers.
Yeah. No,
And it's just like, wow.
I think the success of the Switch went to their head. I really do.
I mean, I get it. The Switch is good. Nintendo has always been lacking in, the hardware department. But its first party titles don't need it.
No.
To go any further.
Well, and here's the thing. The whole charm of Nintendo was that it was the casual economic option, and that they focused more on the gameplay elements than they did the graphics, which gave them their own market. But now they're trying to compete with companies that blow them out of the water.
They're trying to compete with Sony and Xbox, and Nintendo can't.
No, they can't. They can't compete directly. They need to compete indirectly, and they're abandoning that.
And like I said, continue.
And I was going to say, and then it's just like the pricing on this is not only outrageous because of it being high, but also I did a lot of digging, and the cost of these games does not match the price points at all.
Oh, we'll get into that because holy snap, I never even thought I'd hear it come out of Nintendo's mouth. I hope it's in these tabs.
It is. I know exactly what it is.
When it comes to Nintendo, I mean, we can go ahead and assume, for the most part, that most gamers, modern day gamers, they're single console people, right? And it dawned on to me that is the case. Now, I have a Switch, I have a PS5, PS4. I've had PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox. I've had all the systems for the most part, with the exception of now the current Xbox. It's the one I don't have, and I have a PC. If I have to choose between playing, say, Monster Hunter Rise on my Switch versus my PC, which one would I choose?
PC, obviously.
Correct. If I was playing Cyberpunk 2077 and I have it on my PC, or if I have the choice to buy it on my PC, my PS5, or my Switch 2, where would I buy it?
PC or PS5.
Correct. I would not be buying that on my Switch at all. I have Skyrim on absolutely everything because that is just a norm for a gamer to have. If you don't have Skyrim on everything, you can't really call yourself a gamer.
No. If you don't have Doom on a TI-83 calculator, what are you doing with your life?
Exactly, and I've got one of those too. So for a lot of these games, the ones that are multi-platform, you're not buying them on your Switch unless the Switch is the only console you have in the household. But if you start raising the price of the Switch to match current day consoles, the Switch 2 is $450. A PS5 is like $50 more. Maybe I'll save up for the PS5 instead. And it's like, you only have your first party titles, Nintendo.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to be the economic,
if you're not the economic
at that
option,
point, if you're going to be on par with the others, outside of buying the Switch for your kids, there's no real reason for you to buy the Switch 2 at that point. Unless you do happen to be one of those people who wait around a lot and need a console on you.
Well, then
chances are most of those people are playing something on their phone anyway.
Yeah, and then and it's funny you mentioned that, because like they don't have a lot of titles, and what's his name came out and was like, well, we're still offering the Switch 1. And I'm like, that's not good. That's not a good thing to say, sir.
It's funny because I'll take my Switch with me to work on a slow day that I know is going to be a slow day, that I'm going to be sitting around for hours, right? I do this routinely. I'll take my Switch with me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play something on my Switch, play a little bit of Breath of the Wild or something. I don't know. And then I'll get seated. I'm waiting. It's like, all right, it's going to be like 3 hours before anything's done. And the next thing I know I've been on my phone for the past 3 hours watching TV or something.
Yeah.
Or watching shorts, or flipping through TikTok, or whatever else. Facebook, doom scrolling the whole time. Haven't touched my Switch. I'm like, why do I even bring this with me? Because the second I do, I'm going to actually really, really want to play something, I'm sure, at that moment that I don't have it with me. But, every time I bring it with me, I don't even open it up most of the time. Even when I am sitting there waiting for something, I'm doom scrolling somewhere else.
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for Pokemon, I don't think Nintendo would be able to sell their handhelds like they do.
Well, that Mario. I mean, Smash Brothers was a cash cow for them for the longest time.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
I'm talking still fallen off of relevance.
I'm talking about so
practically, I guess, Melee. It has been going downhill.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they've been banking on the handheld market, but honestly, if you remove Pokemon from that equation, their handhelds would not sell for shit.
And I hate that Sony didn't corner that market because they could have.
Yeah,
but they're doing but Sony fucked up with the Vita.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, they made a bad mistake on the PSP because they were banking on Pro Duo sticks being the wave of the future for media. And it didn't go because that was when there was like 15 different little cards that you could buy, right? And nobody knew which one was going to be on top. Then SD won that battle. And then micro SD came out. The Vita came out. Instead of using micro SDs, they made their own proprietary media that cost 3 times as much as an SD card for the same amount of space. They didn't market the damn thing. And it was a failure of a system. But the PSP and the Vita beat the DS like no other in technology and everything else. That if they had actually marketed properly,
they could have won
and actually focused on their games for it, they could have had that market split 50-50.
Yep.
But they didn't. And now we've got Nintendo, who has literally the entire handheld market at this point. Because they're only town, or the only game in town.
Well, the funny thing is Nintendo's losing ground to mobile. So.
Oh, yeah. The fact that, your Switch, I mean, it's small enough that you can put it in a bag, take it with you, put it in its own carry case, but you can't put it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
The Vita was small enough to fit in your back pocket if you wanted it to. Although I don't advise it because then you'll mess up that stick. But but yeah, so Doug Bowser on the Switch 2 game prices. What you see right there is variable pricing. We look at each game really like... Okay, this is the one I was talking about, hoping it was in here. At the development that has gone into the game. The breadth and depth of gameplay, gameplay, if you will, the durability over time, and the repetitive of gameplay experience. Repetitive. Anyway, those are all factors, and there are many more that go into considering of what is the right price point for the game. So I think you can anticipate that there will be a variable pricing, and we haven't set a benchmark. I hate that idea.
Oh, no.
This comes into the whole, well, how much do you think a game should be? Because this is talking about game prices and setting the standard and stuff. And it's like, well, if you bought this game and you put 300 hours into it, how much do you think that actually means? How much should you get in that? If it was, say, $1 per hour, you should have paid $300 for that game. Bullshit.
Okay, so I went over this actually. I sent you a link in private chat there. So yeah, Grunk actually broke down the manufacturing costs and everything for me. So if you click on that, go all the way to the bottom, we'll just go to the summary.
Yeah, well, it ain't bringing me anything. It just takes me to Grunk's front facing.
Okay. I'll go ahead and just share my screen then. Give me a second. Okay, screen share. Okay. So I'll zoom in because I know it's kind of small. So this is just a summary of. So this is the highest, based on the highest manufacturing cost for the game, which was 150 million. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I'm going to scroll up a little bit because I. So there's a lot. Here it is. Okay, and this is also including the retails taking their cut. So 150 million divided by 52 equals 2 million units, round up to about copies to break even. This is how much they would need to sell to break even. All right. They need to sell almost 3 million copies of Mario Kart World to break even. That's at $80. That's the current price or whatever. $40, they would need to sell about double, almost 6 million. Do you know how many copies of Mario Kart 8 they sold in the first day?
No, but I was looking to see. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 459,000 copies in the United States on its launch day, making it the fastest selling country in the. Holy shit!
They sold.
That was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, they sold over 10 million worldwide. They would make
in the U.S. alone.
Yeah, they would make their money back the first day at $40.
Okay, hold up. Mario Kart 8, initially released on the Wii U, sold over 8.46 million copies worldwide as of September 20th, 21. Its enhanced version, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, released on the Nintendo Switch in 2017, sold over 64.27 million units as of November 5th, 2024.
So, who
together Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe has sold 62.25. Shit.
So, how the fuck are they going to justify $80 when they could make their money back at $40 in hours? Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean that's what the whole idea of why I hate this idea of variable pricing, right? Because you could sit there and you could play Mario Kart, for days, weeks, stream it, have your followers, joining the game, stuff like that, and make it into tournaments, which people have done and stuff, and get a ton of hours out of that. So I'm not a fan of variable pricing based on whether or not you're going to play the game a lot.
No, and that's the thing is,
I mean, could you imagine how much Skyrim would cost?
Yeah,
if they priced it based on the longevity of the game. There are people still playing Mario Kart 8 to this day, and that game launched back in like 2000. Wait, what was it? I closed the window. And it launched in 2021. And there are still people playing that game today. So variable pricing just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I even went through how they could course correct this and salvage this, but I'm like, they ain't going to do that.
Yeah, they bring their prices back down to $60.
Oh, I exited my thing. You want to bring yours back up?
Yeah, because my big fat face is now here.
But so, by the way, this post here is what spurred me on to looking into the price point of the Switch games, and I'm like, no, there is no reason for them to be $80. Absolutely no reason. There's no reason for them to be $60 if we want to get real technical. And by the way,
am I still here?
Not your face.
Yeah.
Did your camera die?
No, it's still here, but I think because you were presenting, it somehow messed up my thing, so I may disappear for a second. Carry on.
Okay. So basically, with the whole price point thing, it's a load of bullcrap. I'm in the lead at all. And the post I saw, which I can't sing as gospel because it was just some guy on X saying, breaking down like the cost of manufacturing the hardware. But if he's actually true and honest on that, then even the hardware is drastically overpriced by like over $100. $200 to $250 overprice if you want to get technical. I mean, here's the thing. It's a company, it has to make money. I get that. But the price...
It's Nintendo.
The price of the console should be the price of what the Japanese console is throughout. Japanese console was retailing for...
Yeah, I would really like an explanation as to why the Japanese console is $106 cheaper. I really want a good explanation from Nintendo on that, because
and that language pack,
if they weren't factoring in tariffs beforehand, the only thing we have to go on is the fact that they're region locking it to Japan and the Japanese language pack.
Yeah.
Because language packs don't cost that much.
No, they don't
take up that much space. The fact that, there's not like this huge amount of work that has to go into loading up all the English and the French and everything else like that.
Because the thing is,
if you want to, if it means getting it down in price by releasing a North America version that is region locked to North America with just English on it or some bullshit like that, I think that would probably cause them to take, or it would cost more to start doing that
than just a universal.
Than just lower the price and make it uniform across everyone and not region lock it. Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure region locking your system takes a little bit more effort than just not region locking it to begin with.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, if they want to region lock so badly, that's one, is pointless because VPNs exist for starters. Two,
that wouldn't matter. It wouldn't play anything but a Japanese game.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like,
so you would have to import all your games from Japan and read it only in Japanese, but I'm sure it won't take long for somebody to hack it and fix that.
Yep.
Because Nintendo products are notorious for, anyway.
Next time.
So the Switch 2 won't have achievements.
Still justifying that price point, aren't they?
Okay, why? We have entered the age of achievements. Especially anything that's cross-platform has achievements everywhere else but the Switch at this point.
Look, I'm not a hunter of achievements, but this is definitely a feature that there's no reason
get into the achievement hunting.
Oh, you
vibe
do?
Sometimes. So, like, on WoW, for the longest time, that's all I was doing because I was so bored of the game, was just hunting achievements and finishing them. But anyway.
But yeah, no, this was just something quick, and
it's just one of those things. It's like you're getting into the competitive market. You're boasting about your system being competitively viable with the big hitters. You're raising your prices beyond the current meta, and then you're not even going to give us achievements?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
That's why I'm saying they are really justifying not buying it.
But anyway, Nintendo justifies Mario Kart World's $80 price this is a game that is so big and vast.
Wait, I got something for this too. Because guess what? I looked into this as well. I was like, really? It's big and vast. Well, let me look into that. How big and vast is it? Not really. So I went ahead, map size comparison. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. I'm going to ruin
because
everything.
Now that's going to mess me up.
Well, do you want to see this or not?
Fine.
Like, look, if it worked, I would say. So let's look. Map.
All right.
We're just going to go over the summary here. Map ranking by map size, smallest to largest. Who is the smallest? Oh, look, Mario Kart World.
That's the smallest one. So that's looking at their map. Legend of Zelda has got a slightly larger map.
I don't know about Immortal Phoenix Rising, but
it was a game that, well, it released in 2020. Anyway.
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077, bigger. Far Cry 5, bigger. By the way, look at the dates of these games, y'all. Elden Ring, bigger. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt 2015, bigger. By the way, what were these games' price points? Oh, yeah, $60 and below.
Yeah, anyway, the size of the map should not justify the game price point either.
No, that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I'm pointing this out, because they're making these excuses, and I'm like, bullshit.
It's like, you gotta give me something better than that.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah, stayed. Anyway. Let's see. Nintendo has confirmed that Switch 2 game carts will taste bad. The undesirable taste deters young kids. Wait, that's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like Switch 2 games taste bad?
Switch 1, Switch 2. They've been doing it.
I need to lick a Switch game.
Do you
I've
have
got
one?
to test it out.
Okay, well, go grab one.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Carry on.
But yeah, no, this is actually a feature I'm 100% okay with Nintendo doing, because that, you know what? I can appreciate, looking out for the kiddos, and it's not a big thing. So, if this is real, I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay is the outrageous price points. That's the biggest thing. And by the way, if you're watching this and you're wanting to get the Switch 2, go ahead and get it. It's not like I'm trying to beat people down for buying something they want to buy. I just, in my personal opinion, I don't like it because of a couple things.
No, I'm in the middle of streaming. Go on.
I want to say
the issue is it's precedent for other developers to raise their prices, and then it sets that.
Did you, Dad? I've done it before. It's not the best.
Okay. So my kids have informed me that they've already done this.
Oh,
Only Dog has.
And it's really, really bad. So we have Violet. All right.
Lick the metal part. You gotta lick the metal in the back.
Lick the middle.
Okay. So there's no real taste there. Oh God.
I think it's real, guys. I think it's real.
And it does stay. Oh.
What do I want to try that?
You don't. Go away, Helen. Oh.
Don't do it, Keaton. Don't do it.
What I want to.
Then do it.
No, you're not. Go on. Take this back. Oh, take it back and go with you. Away with you, disabilities. Go. Go, disabilities. I had to do it for people. Oh.
So it's real. It is very much real, clearly.
Oh.
So describe the flavor.
Oh.
Is it blueberry? Is it peach?
No, it just tastes bad.
It just tastes bad.
Oh.
F's in the chat for
it's still
Zio.
there. Oh, it's like in the back of my. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake, fam.
F's in the
Snakes
chat.
were made. Oh.
That's
Anyway,
great.
somebody clip that. Oh,
1
what's
hour,
the timestamp?
1 hour 29. So do like 27. 1 hour 27.
Oh, 127. That I feel like that needs to be a clip.
Yeah, you can definitely put that in. So yeah, that's a thing confirmed.
Wow, I made wet in here for that one.
Yeah, well, she'll see it on the clip. That's to deter children and animals.
And my kid informed me, by the way, if you guys didn't hear that or not, but he done it once out of curiosity too.
So I guess it works.
And he's like, "Don't do it, don't do it." It's like, I have to now because I have to find out. So
to that end, it might backfire because now people are going to be curious about it. But yeah. This is more of a Power World thing. I mean, we're not going to...
I was just reading this real quick.
Yeah.
I see you're stealing my stuff. Writes down said stuff they didn't own into legal document. See? It says so here on this piece of paper. I just... That's what it feels
That's
like.
pretty much what Nintendo's doing. And
I mean, but still. Nintendo has accused... it has brought like 2 more things into this lawsuit. Let's see, do I have it right here? Yeah. So they've had several shut down, but they did gain access to 2 more. Let's see, where is it? It's somewhere in here. Patent number 12.246.255.
Oh, you got like your banner up top there. I'm not sure if you wanted that on.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's just covering up the tabs.
Gotcha.
I forgot that I made that specifically to just cover up
the tabs.
Those tabs because, it looks more professional that way.
It's
hiding them.
It does. I kind of wish you could adjust the size, though.
It's regarding the smooth switching of writing objects in game. So yeah, and then
that's okay. So that's Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption.
It's World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, yeah. Most MMOs, really. Let's be honest. This is too broad of a thing. Should be thrown out immediately.
But yeah, they've got the U.S. patent describes the system with 2 modes, one for aiming and throwing a captured item at a creature, and another for battling using a previously captured creature. And this one expands on capturing system, adding elements like aiming mechanisms, a successful rate indicator, so when it wiggles,
yeah,
and the act of launching an item to catch a character. And it's just like those things. It's like, Nintendo, why could you just not?
The action of launching an item to catch a character is so fucking broad. That would mean that anything that has a net, if you're catching fish...
because you have to throw it. If you don't throw the net, it's fine. But if you throw the net...
Yeah, how else are you going to act?
You swipe the net down and you hold it. You don't throw it.
This would also...
But I mean, it pretty much is anything that wants to have, that capture a thing.
Yeah.
For it, you can't actually have it show that you've thrown something to capture it, essentially.
This is so stupid.
Which makes it really hard to do a 3D anything.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, it would have to be like practically 2D sprites or something, and you use the item and it disappears.
Even then, they would probably bitch that you're copying their old Pokemon games at that point.
Yeah, but anyway, it's on the whole Nintendo turning themselves into the bad guys of the video game industry. Like, never would I have ever thought that Nintendo would ever want to be a contender for the Golden Poo Award. But Nintendo has been trying to go after that for the past couple of years now. At this point, it seems, and I can't believe we're seeing that in this day and we're seeing this at all. So from Nintendo. Let's see. Switch 2 controversy. Just throwing thoughts. Don't kill me. Besides the prices themselves, I think a big factor that Nintendo spent the past 20 years training their fans to not care about graphics and to expect affordability in return. Wii was $250, PS3 was $600, Wii U was $250, PS4 was $400, etc. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying.
Yeah.
Anything you see Pokemon or any Nintendo game criticized for graphics, there's always a crowd of fans replying they don't care. Yeah, I saw that when it came to Pokemon Violet and Scarlet.
Yeah.
Because, when you have Breath of the Wild in existence on your console, any argument that you want to bring to me saying the console can't handle it is moot. I'm sorry. I saw their first-party title already that did it better. With Switch 2, though, Nintendo reveals at 4K, 120 frames per second, HDR, etc., with a price tag to go with it, on par or even more expensive than the PS5 and its games. For the first time in generations, Nintendo's messaging is that graphics are important and they cost. I don't think that's enough to raise the price.
But that's what their messaging is.
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of gamers who are passionate about 4K moved on to the PS, Xbox, PC a long time ago. That is true. They've been filtered out. So the I don't care about graphics crowd is mostly here in the Nintendo fan base. The sudden change, I think, that has a lot to do with current backlash. Things been turned totally upside down as far as what it means to be a Nintendo fan. Or, I don't know, maybe I'm way off base. Like I said, just some shower thoughts.
See, here's the thing.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't look like any... Listen, this is a screenshot from Prime Beyond. It looks like something you can get off the Switch right now.
Yeah.
That's why nobody... I don't think anybody, when we saw any of that stuff, was thinking this is going to be a Switch 2 title. Because, one, the Switch 2 wasn't a thought yet. I mean, there was talks about it and everything, but... it was something that could be done on the Switch.
It could be done. It could be done on the Switch. Also, you got the upgrade packs for Switch games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. But my biggest thing about this is they're having such a major backlash of the price point, and instead of listening to the fans who are clearly not going to be able to afford this, they're trying to just justify it. There is no justification. Your justification, Nintendo's justification, does not fucking matter in the end, because
Nintendo hasn't even produced hasn't even produced any real justification.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
in the end,
little bit that they have isn't. It's just like, okay, now you're just BSing us at this point.
Yeah, and their doubling down is going to end with this. Either maybe not this. I'm going to say maybe the fans of Nintendo will carry this. I don't know. But the generation after this, people are going to feel alienated and be like, sure.
Nintendo is like the Disney of the gaming world.
Yeah.
So big that they can spend a generation fucking around and finding out.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we're going to do, is we're going to spend a generation fucking around and finding out.
Yep.
Because they've got enough momentum, and as long as they can get these people to actually buy the Switch 2, that's all they're worried about. If they can get it into their hands,
all right, now
everything else will follow suit. Because, at the end of the day, most gamers, for the most part, they buy anywhere from 1 to 3 games a year. If that, right? They usually have at least one game, maybe 2 or 3.
So I'm triple the gamer everybody else has got it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm taking this from Steam statistics when they gave us that end of the year thing, because I thought that was really interesting information to know, and then realizing how much that we deviate from the norm.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to talk about my... yeah.
Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Let's see if that actually says it or not. But apparently I recorded a little bit of this thing at some point. But this is playtime. I can't remember why I did it. I did it to do something and I just forgot to do it.
That's interesting, though.
I'm seeing if it works, if I got what I'm looking for right now. Well, anyway, so, you look at that and it's like talking about, the Steam median. It's like most gamers, they play 6 days in a row.
6.
And then don't touch anything. Meanwhile, I had a streak of 60 at some point. You played 47 games. The median is 4. So, but yeah, like
I don't think I want to know mine.
Well, if I could figure out how to get back to this page, it'd be nice to see them.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so like most modern gamers, for the most part, gamers will usually have one system. They buy 1 to 3 games a year. 1 to 2 games. 1 to 3 might be a little generous. If they can get that into fans' hands, but they've got to have a reason to do it. And right now, the current lineup isn't that outside of Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
And that's the given thing, how much Mario Kart 8 sold on release, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this is going to play out for them.
Well, I know
it's going to sell. I have no doubt it's going to sell, but it's not really justifying. It's like you were saying earlier, the Wii and the Wii U. It's like, I didn't see any, or I didn't really think anything was wrong with the Wii U for the most part. I mean, it took me a while to get one, but graphically speaking and stuff, it was no different than playing the Wii.
Well, see, my thing is, I think that my prediction for the Switch 2 is the fans are going to carry it 100%. It's going to it's not going to be like gangbusters levels, but it's going to be definitely profitable. But I think the generation after Switch 2, people are going to buy, and then they're going to have buyer's remorse, and then Switch 3 or whatever, or comes after Switch 2, is going to essentially be just not have the momentum.
Well, I mean, it could go the way of the Wii U. Like the Wii U, it was hard to find when it came out, and then they couldn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Let's see. Research firm says Switch 2 price could reach $540 over the next 2 years due to tariffs. Well, we already talked about this.
Yeah.
And they've gone back down, so that's a moot point at this point.
Yep.
Nintendo steps on a PR minefield as exec tells people they can buy the Switch if they can't afford the Switch 2. Now, which developer did this and screwed over their game?
Which one? There's been several.
I can't remember who it was, and it's like, well, you could just go play the previous one or something like that.
I think Blizzard did that with Diablo Mobile, kind of, sort of. Diablo Immortal, that's what it was. There was...
No, that was the don't you have phones comment.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of, sort of. The Ubisoft, I think, did it.
No, there was somebody who actually did say that at some point about something, and I can't remember what it was, and it destroyed. It was the nail in the coffin for it. It did not sell very well.
Yeah.
And they're like, why did it not sell well? It's like, I don't know. You tell me.
Maybe because you told them not to buy it.
No, this is the U.S. and Canada. Due to U.S. tariffs, blah blah blah. But yeah, this whole if you can't afford the Switch 2, just buy the Switch, really, guys.
Then why would we ever?
Why would we even want the Switch 2 at this point?
Yeah.
Or is that going to be Nintendo's play though? Switch 2, Mario World, whatever, Donkey Kong releases, has a Switch 1 port.
No way.
It could happen.
Shit, you're right. Because the thing is that I was looking at some videos and screenshots of Mario Kart World. That is a empty ass world.
Well, not only that, but it doesn't look any different than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Graphically speaking. I mean, I know they want to sit there and say, 120 FPS and 4K graphics and stuff. And it's like, well, when your game looks exactly like its predecessor,
I'm thinking
I don't really give a damn about any of that shit.
I'm thinking more spacing and stuff. I can't imagine they would port it to the Switch 1, but yeah. They could definitely do it.
The only reason I can justify anyone in an upper in Nintendo saying something like this is if they were planning to make Switch ports for everything.
Oh.
At some point,
that would sabotage the hell out of the Switch 2.
And then all they do is they lower the price by $10. Or $20.
Yeah.
This way they can justify why Breath of the Wild is $20 cheaper or more expensive on the Switch 2.
You might be right.
A slightly brighter background.
Huh? We'll see. Time will tell.
I mean, we'll see, but that's a theory. I just thought of it.
That's a theory that has some good legs to it.
Let's see. Nintendo has postponed releasing Switch 2 in China indefinitely. Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this is one where I was like, fuck you, China. Just made me laugh. I was like, yeah.
So why in China? Despite having rather impressive roster of games, that is not an impressive roster of games. I'm sorry. Let's see. You going to give me a list? Or are you going to do it this way? They're going to do it this way. Alright, so the roster of games. Mario Kart World, Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which will cost you money. Okay, like seriously.
By the way, I just saw
Nintendo really does think that they're bigger shit than they are when they are charging for a demo like that.
Yep. And
it was free on the PlayStation.
Yeah, a PlayStation exec said that was a huge misstep.
Yeah. Drag X Drive is a wheelchair basketball. Okay.
Yeah, that one was weird, but it was kind of neat.
I feel like they're trying to go with Rocket League.
Yeah, that's what it felt
just
like.
Making it basketball.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors.
That's a niche game.
Which is
Dynasty
a game
Warriors.
On the Switch.
Yeah.
This is a different version.
No, this is a new one.
Is it? A completely new game? Or?
Yeah, new game. It's basically takes place at the Age of Imprisonment, where it's Tears of the Kingdom's time, era.
Tears of the Kingdom as a backdrop, serving as the sequel. Okay. Kirby Air Riders. I don't think anybody's ever been excited about that game before.
No.
It's been done. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I think is what actual people were excited about.
Yeah,
for the most part.
It looked pretty good, so long as I don't have to do 80 billion hours of backtracking. Like
that's also not a launch
64.
title, so...
No, they don't got much going on.
In fact, I don't remember Air Riders being a launch title, or Hyrule Warriors either, or this on the launch title list, which is what I was kind of hoping they were going to show here.
Mario Kart World.
No. Mario Kart World was a launch title.
It's coming out like a month after, I thought.
No, it's a launch title.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, this one comes out about 5-6 months later. And the other ones, I guess, were in the direct, but they weren't listed as when they were coming out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Switch enhanced games: Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby, Pokemon, which of course is the new Pokemon game I think on the horizon right now, is ZA.
Yep. Because they're running out.
There are many other games coming to Switch, so here's a list of games coming to the Switch. Elden Ring. Again, that goes to, if I have more than one platform, where would I rather play it?
Yep.
Rather play that on my PC. Rather play it on my PC. Rather play it on my PC.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera. Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. All these games.
Yeah.
Dude, Hades 2, I don't even know why they're wasting their time on that one. Hollow Knight. But yeah. Rumored games: Assassin's Creed, D4, Halo the Master Chief Collection. Can you even do that one on the PlayStation?
What, Halo?
Yeah.
You could definitely do it on PlayStation, but on the Switch?
No, I mean, can you buy that on PlayStation right now? I know Master Chief Collection is through Steam, but Microsoft and PC are kind of a thing, you know?
I think it's only PC and Xbox. Pretty sure.
Yeah, there's no way that would come out to the Switch.
Well, that's why they call it a rumor.
There's no way that would come to the Switch long before it came to, like, PlayStation. Right? Don't worry, I'll look it up. Let's see. As well as PC through Steam and Game Pass. Yeah, it's not available on
Well, these aren't available games. These are rumored games.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, who the fuck filled that rumor? Like, there's no way.
I think that's just
way that Master Chief Collection
thinking.
comes out on the Switch 2 when a perfectly good PS4 fan base exists to capitalize on.
Yeah, I think that's just wishful thinking.
Yeah. But anyway. So, delays in China. Originally reported Nintendo has postponed release of Switch 2 in China as an apparent response to the country's high-tech controls targeting the gaming industry.
Basically, everybody's really sick and tired of China trying to...
They're also producing really good games over there, people.
Well, they can be as good as they want if nobody's going to buy them.
Well, they did. That's the thing.
No,
everybody has been buying them. People have been playing them.
I'm saying going forward.
But anyway, Switch 2 will reportedly perform at PS4 graphic level, according to analysts via Digital Foundry. I'm sorry, but what I've seen so far just ain't true.
Well, not just that, but so I asked Grunk about this as well, as far as pricing. And at the end of the PS4's lifespan, the price point was like not $499. Now, when it first came out, it was.
Oh, no. I mean, I just bought 2 of them for about $200 a piece.
Yeah.
Refurbish. So
why would we pay $450 for the Switch 2?
Yeah.
So why would we pay $450 for $200 graphics?
Beats me.
Yep. Again, I'm just hammering home the point that this is not worth the money. And Nintendo has not convinced me by any measure that their new system is worth it.
I don't know what they're thinking at all with all this shit. But anyway, Nintendo Switch game prices won't impact sales, says ex-PlayStation boss.
He's probably right.
Yeah. It's the only place you can play Mario. You'll buy it.
Yeah.
Which is what I was saying earlier, is they've got their first-party titles, and that's... I mean, I've been saying that, I think, for over a year at this point when talking to Nintendo. It's the only thing that holds them together is their first-party titles. As much as I would love for them to expand into Steam and stuff, because I would gladly buy it and play it there.
Yeah,
Nintendo is purely held on by its first-party titles.
Yep. Honestly, I think long term. I'm saying maybe 2-4 generations from now, Nintendo is going to be Sega. Nintendo's going to go into essentially just making software. I think they're going to stop making consoles. That's my prediction.
Well, as long as there's a need for handhelds, I think they'll always be making consoles as long as they stick to the handheld market.
That's true.
Now, I think it was last year there was rumors of PlayStation trying to get back into that game.
Yeah, I heard something like they were
coming out with since then.
Yeah,
because
I heard
they had dropped that one stupid thing. I can't remember what it was called, and everyone was like, "The Vita 2, heck yes! Please, PlayStation, come back to the handheld market." And no, it was just a screen and controller that allows you to remote connect to your PlayStation. It's not the same thing. And everyone's like, "Oh," and it did poorly. But then sometime after that, there were rumors of something else. I don't know if anything's materialized since then or not, but as long as they have a hold on the handheld market and nobody's knocking them out, I think Nintendo's going to be secure in that front.
I think so too.
So
maybe I should reiterate. I think there's a real chance of them getting out of the console market.
Well, they've been out of the console market for the most part. I mean, they firmly have stepped into handhelds. Yeah. I mean, it's still technically a console, but it's not a console in the sense of a console. You think console, you think PlayStation, you think Xbox. You also, of course, think Nintendo because Nintendo has a docking system for their handheld.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But Nintendo's been playing around with those kind of things for a while because they had the, what was it, the Super Game Boy.
Yeah.
Too. Where you could play your Game Boy on your console.
Yep. I had one of those.
I have one of those too.
It was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah. So it's sort of this weird thing. It's like Nintendo's a console maker, but their consoles primarily let you get up and go anywhere with it very easily. So, and that's the only thing that's really keeping Nintendo alive is their first party titles. Because if you had anywhere else to buy Pokemon or Mario or something, nobody's going to buy a Switch. Well, I mean, some people will still buy Switches, but it won't be as what it was. Anyway, so the $70 Switch version or Switch 2 version of Breath of the Wild won't even come with its DLC.
Really justifying those price points, Nintendo?
I'm pretty sure if you buy Breath of the Wild right now, it comes with all its DLC because it's a package deal.
Yeah.
But if you buy the Switch 2 version, no DLC, no bike for you.
Nope, they got to sell that right back to you.
Oh. And the UK Nintendo Switch 2 sold out in minutes across different retail stores.
Yeah, and I've been seeing it's scalpers.
Think it's scalpers?
No, there's posts showing that people are putting them up for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, scalpers.
How much are they selling it for?
Oh shit! I didn't pay that much attention. I just saw that somebody was taking screenshots of the bundles being resold. So,
well, shoot. Forgot order.
if you type in Nintendo Switch UK, you'll find them. I am going to cancel my stream tonight because I am too tired.
Well, I'm not finding them. I'm just finding stuff about pre-ordering. Oh well. Anyway, so yeah, there's a high likelihood that was scalpers. Which is funny because they had an ingenious plan to prevent scalpers.
And it did not work,
clearly. It apparently didn't work because I guess scalpers are all Nintendo fans and satisfied all those conditions.
Did we lose Zia?
No, I'm right here. Hello? Hello?
There we go.
Hello? Did we lose you, Chad?
Yep. You all lost me for a second.
Okay, well, we heard you.
But yeah. So, yeah, no, I looked it up, and people were complaining that it's scalpers, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think Nintendo really cares because they still get their money in the end. So,
yeah, that's true. But anyways, that concludes the Nintendo, and Nintendo stream. With a few other things back there. You looking for something, Chad?
No, I'm just putting up the postpone stream thing because I'm just really tired.
Chad is really tired.
And I've become the old man. I've become the Zio.
We're getting old, folks. Old. That we don't even understand the chicken jockey fascination.
Oh, dude. Like, anyways, I understood it. I just didn't get it.
I don't get why everybody's so obsessed about it. But right? It's a meme. Let's see. Like, it's a meme.
But I'm probably going to play Dinkum in the morning instead of tonight because I need to get some sleep first before I. So I'll be doing Dinkum in the morning, and then in the afternoon, me, you, and Joe can do Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Anyway, so links for everybody is in the description down below. If you miss Meg, you can go find her link too and go bother her when she goes and fights giant watery ducks or something like that.
You should. Everybody should like start putting like duck emojis in her chat.
Yeah, that should be the thing. It's like wait for her to stream and then start putting rubber duck emojis in the chat.
I think I might do that next time she's streaming.
Oh, yeah, message me and I'll join you. But anyway, so links for everybody in the description down below. Chad's going to be streaming some Dinkum tomorrow. Yep. And then we'll be playing some Baldur's Gate 3. No idea if he's going to stream that or not.
No, I'll be streaming both. I'll be doing like a morning stream, get a little bit of rest, then afternoon.
Then I'll take a small rest and afternoon stream it. Anyway, this will be next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time as we talk about whatever news happens next week. And hopefully it's not all just Nintendo burning down.
Yeah, dude, just a side note, like X, can we get something other than Nintendo news up in my algorithm, because my goodness, that is literally, I did not get any other news other than that.
Yeah, that's like all I've been seeing is just Nintendo, with a few other little things sprinkled here and there because nobody's talking about anything else.
Yeah.
Just Nintendo.
Is what it is.
But anyway, now I got that cleared out.
before you play your outro, remember to do the things so it doesn't echo.
Okay. So with that, we will see you in the next one.